Good morning. I'm going to grab my comments right here. I have my phone on so I can see you seeing me. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. I've got the laptop set up behind me and I'll click that over in just a sec too. Let me go ahead and do that right now so that we can start this party. Let me tell you something. When you have the best laid intentions, when you have a plan and your plan goes awry, don't worry about it. Shift and keep going. I'm Diane. I am live here at Two Girls Treasure in Florence, South Carolina. Welcome to Coffee and Create. It's Tuesday, July 26th. I need to learn how to say that all the time so that I can keep up with the recorded videos a little bit better. If you're just joining me, if you're coming on this morning to see what craziness I have in store for you today, please say hello so I know who I'm sharing with. I'm gonna drop my bracelets off my arms so I don't get those in the paint, because I will get those in the paint. And let me pull up my phone. If you're calling Two Girls Treasure right now, we're not open. We're not open until 10 a.m. 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. And on Tuesday especially, we don't open until 10 a.m. sharp, because I'm right here teaching you how to do cool stuff with cool tools that you may want to add to your tool kit. Let me show you what we're working with today. I started out with a paint scheme in mind, something really simple, and I may go back to it. But I really wanted to feature Bashful Blush, wrong way, Bashful Blush. Let me put my glasses on. This is such a beautiful, gentle pink color. It's not white, but it's a little bit pink, just enough. And Flamingo. Everyone knows Flamingo. It is bright, it is bold, it is the pink of all pinks. This is what you want your summertime lipstick to look like. And originally, my program was a dressing table, a vanity, with these two colors. Base in Bashful Blush and stenciling in Flamingo. I even wore the right hair tie today to feature it. This is called Stick and Style Stencil Roll, and it's a neat product by Redesign, and you actually just peel off a piece of what you want, you stick it where you need it, and you stencil on it, and then you peel it back up, and this is the design you get. I've done a couple of pieces with this. One's in the store. I did it in metallics, and it turned out fabulous. And one I did for a customer and sold it before I ever finished with it, because I did it in Hydrangea Kiss and Morning Mist, and the combination of those two colors was amazing, and I wanted to replicate that with Bashful Blush and Flamingo. I think those two colors make an incredible combination. Well, best laid plans being what they are, the vanity that I was going to use this morning didn't quite make it to the store today. So I found another one. Let me kick you over to the overhead view so you can see. This is a beautiful Jacobean style. It has the upper center drawer. It has two lower drawers with beautiful, beautiful detail work on them. Look at that. And as I'm looking at these drawers and legs, I'm thinking, this really needs to be a little more than just Bashful Blush and Flamingo. Not that that's a bad combination, because it is an amazing combination, but that it has so many lines and so much depth and so much detail that I think I want to add a little more color. I'm not sure, but I think I would like to richen the bottom. I may even drop in some blues, but with any good blended piece of furniture, it always starts with a great base color. So let's stick to as much of the original plan this morning as possible. The drawers are really dirty inside, and these deserve to be cleaned up. But look at that architecture. Look at the overhang on the bottom drawer. I've got this camera right in the light. Look at the detail work on that drawer. So, so beautiful. Dovetail drawers, original hardware. It's on wheels. Y'all, this thing is so long it doesn't even fit on my roller dolly. It sort of fits, but not quite. I'm gonna set all the drawers to the side, and I'm not gonna show you the prep again this morning because I've already done most of it. I wanna get you to the part where I have a good base and I can show you the stenciling, because ultimately the top of this will be Bashful Blush, and it is super, super dirty. So let me grab a brush and grab my Bashful Blush, and let's get some color on this morning. And again, if you're just joining, thank you. I appreciate you being here today. I'm gonna step in front of you for a quick second. Pardon me, excuse me. Nothing to see here but my 2-inch Wooster. You know I have to have this in my life, especially if I'm gonna do a full-on base coat. I'm gonna go ahead and spritz it. I want the paint to move, and I'm only putting a base coat on. So I wanna get it, I wanna move it around pretty good. I'll get my coverage in my second coat. I'm totally okay with that. First coat, I wanna seal this. One of the reasons that this is not a bad way to start, what if I have bleed through? It's gonna show right here. This is a 1920s, so this is 100 years old. It doesn't seem possible, but this is 100 years old. Doesn't make it antique, and it's not even of great antique quality if it were. It's just that old. And it's possible that with the oils that it's been cleaned with and age and wood, it's possible to have bleed through. So my first coat doesn't need to be heavy. It's a good experimental coat, and it's a good time for me to make sure I'm not gonna have bleed through as I'm going. And we're looking pretty good on the top, but bleed through doesn't always show itself immediately. I'm also gonna turn this fan on, y'all. I hope the noise is not too much, but I want this to dry as I'm going. I'm not gonna put it on supersonic, I'm just gonna put it on. That way, as we're going and I need it, it'll dry this first coat quicker. You can always put your first coat, your fan on your Rethunk Junk paint. I do not believe it is recommended, nor do I recommend it for your tough top or your stain top. Now, I'm kind of a snob about open spaces like this. I want them finished. I don't like them unfinished, because to me, that's what they look like, is that they're unfinished and that I didn't do my job. So I am going to take my Miracle Sponge. I didn't put a glove on this morning, so I'm gonna cover my hands with paint. It's okay. It washes off. Soap and water cleanup with Rethunk Junk paint. And I'm just gonna put my sponge on the inside. Now I'm adding material to my piece. If my drawers were tight already, I may want to sand before I do this. Sanding after is okay too, because sometimes you don't know until you try to put it back together. But if you go to put your piece back together and you can't get the drawers in, or they have a tendency to stick, then you're going to need to sand a little bit back off, because when you paint, you're adding material. And when you add material, if your drawers are tight, they may not fit quite like they need to. They may be a little too tight, and you may need to make some adjustments as you go. All right, I can be satisfied with that, and I'm going to move on. I don't see any bleed through yet, and I'm thankful for that. These old pieces can be temperamental, and you never want to assume which one is or is not going to bleed, because the minute you think it's not going to, that's going to be the one that's going to get you. And if you love to flip furniture, Rethunk Junk paints are the bomb. These are the paints you need in your life for so many reasons, but because you can get so much work done so quickly, and if you will allow your pieces to cure, then you'll have a rock solid finish that won't scratch off. And if you want to add to it later, you'll be able to, because there's no wax involved in this paint. All right, the upper portion in one coat is done. I'm going to leave the bottom portion for right now. I don't want to muddy up what we're doing today, and I want to be able to show you the paint and the stenciling before we run out of time this morning. I have a little bit of veneer damage right here on the face also. I can't show you because you're high up and the sun is beating in. But I want to fix this. And it's a nice clean edge, but unlike the rest of the vanity, it doesn't have any trim molding right here. So I'm going to fix this, and then to cover that fix so nobody really knows we fixed veneer, I'm going to take some clay molds and I'm going to go over that. So we'll do a multi-stage process this week on this dresser, on this vanity. It'll probably even carry into next week, because I want to do good detail work on this. I want to change up on the legs and add some height to it, because if you can see, my legs barely go under it, and I have it jacked up on my roller dolly. So we're going to change the dynamic of the bottom of this with some fresh rollers so it moves easily. We've got some work to do to this, and it's going to take more than a day. It's going to take more than an hour. One of the beautiful things I've always told you about Rethunk Junk paint is how quickly you can get a piece finished. I'm going to move my screen over and hopefully block just a little bit of that sun's glare so that we can work right here. I got some of it, but not all of it. Let me ooch around. I need like a moving shade over here. That helps, but I don't think that's going to get us where we need, but we'll do the best we can. Can you see it okay? And see the inside drawer, I'll go over that a couple of different times, and I'll take my miracle brush, my tapered miracle brush, And I'll go inside to get those creases when it's time to do that finish work. And this is looking pretty good. You never want to go over your, I'm doing my fingertips when I should be doing this. You never want to go over your top when you come back with this. This is wet paint, and if I go over it right this minute, then I'm going to pull that paint off, and we don't want to do that. It's real humid today, so dry time might take a little bit longer. And I hate for you to have to watch paint dry, but I really want to show you the stenciling. Let me pick my chair up, and while the fan does its job, let's come back over here. And let me show you this stick and style, because it's a really cool product. So it's a neat roll of sticky stencil paper, if you will, vinyl paper, vinyl. It's not paper, it is a vinyl. It's not real thick. I don't know that I would try to do raised stenciling with this, but let's see. I've used this before. This is really what there is to it. I usually peel off about a foot long piece, just about like that, because as I'm going, I can peel it back up and lay it back down, and it does an amazing job. You also want to make sure before you use this that your paint is dry, because if you use this before the paint is dry, it will peel your paint back off. Does it need to be cured before you do this? It wouldn't hurt, but if you give your paint a good 24 to 48 hour dry time, then you won't hurt a thing when you get ready to lay this down. I'll show you in just a minute. Let me go ahead. I had a little bit of a thick spot right there. Still have a little bit of drying right there. That humidity is gonna kill my morning. It's okay. Let me show you on a sample board what this will look like. Let me find my camera. All right, I'm gonna scooch this right here. I don't want it to get too far away from me. And bear with me a sec. I'm gonna turn this camera around. Pardon my head right up in your space. But I want to show you how amazing, there we go, we don't want this one to fall over. I want to show you how amazing this stick and style stenciling can be. Let me move some pieces out of the way. Can you see this well? Let me get it up on my, I'm all about some rollers, y'all. Everything rolls. I like it like that. Set that down there, and we'll grab a stencil brush from my stash of tools over here. And if you don't have them, you need a good stencil brush. I don't use the most expensive ones because I have two tendencies. I forget to wash them, and I ruin them. Who's done that? Miss Judy, good morning. Have you ever ruined a stencil brush because you just simply forgot to wash it? Let's shake this real well. Usually they're smallish, and I forget to wash them. So I buy these by the pack. I bought this Waverly brand. I'm not really impressed with it. The hairs come out, and I hate that. I hate a brush that sheds. one good pop, and there we go. That opened it up. All right. I can do this in just about any color because it's on black. So really all you do with the stick and style stencil is roll it out, lay it down smooth. I'm not going to cut this. Take your stencil brush, and of course you want to load your brush, and then you want to tamp it off just a little bit. You've ruined, I know. I have started using my Murphy's oil soap to clean my brushes, and that's helpful. Even if I keep little cups of water near me, I just still have the tendency. I'm getting better. I'm getting better washing my brushes after I'm done, but I get busy after I'm done. My playtime doesn't last all day, and I can't, although I wish I could, I can't stay here start to finish because I have a business to run and I have people who want to come through the door. So this is really, when you're stenciling, do not overload your brush. A second coat is always better. And really, it doesn't take that long. Just tamp your stencil. I think I'm going to do a multi-coat. I think I'm going to put my Bashful blush over the top of my peacock feather. No, flamingo. Flamingo. There we go. Because this will make a nice multi-tonal stencil. Straight up and down, tampa, tampa, tamp. You don't have to bang it, but you're not going to brush it. You want to make sure that you get enough on there. And see, I just went over the edge. I should have taped that edge so that I didn't get too close to it. The beauty of the stick and style is that it lays down wherever you put it. The danger is being too close to the edge. Are you ready to see this? It's going to be amazing. Have you ever used this? If you haven't, you will want to now. Look how beautiful the multi-tonal flamingo as a base and your Bashful blush over the top of it, just over a black. Isn't that beautiful? Now, you can see where I went over my edges, so I really should lay some tape down on the outside edges of my stick and style so that when I'm done and I peel it off, I don't have that overlay, because now I'm going to have to chase paint and cover that up, or I'm going to have to take a small rag, or if I do a brush, it's just going to smear it. But if I take a small rag with some water or a little bit of prep and I'm careful, I can clean that up. But the way to avoid the cleanup altogether, just add a strip of tape to each edge of your stick and style. Isn't that beautiful? Now, imagine, if you will, just a slight cover. I'm going to spin you back around. Let's see if I can just do this. Imagine, if you will, just a slight bit of coverage over this dressing table. Let me see if I can get you out. I think we're getting dry. We are still not open. And I don't have the phone, to be honest with you. It's hanging up on the hook where it should be. All right, let's do that next coat. Because I leave my brush in water in between coats, when I get ready to go again, I don't want my dripping wet brush to ruin my paint. I don't want that much water. So there's a lip edge inside this cup, and I use it to wipe out a lot of the water. It takes some of the paint with it that was on my brush. It's okay. It's totally okay. But that way I get a lot of the water off my brush, and then I can take my paper towel and I can just tamp the water out a little bit. Now that the sun is moving, there we go. Put a little bit of light on the subject here. Just squish some of the water out. Just squish some of that water out. You can see there's a lot on my paper towel. I don't want all of that in my paint. It's okay to have a little bit. The Stick and Style is made by Redesign, Miss Judy. That's an older style. They have a lot of newer stick and styles. I absolutely love them. A stencil is a great alternative to some of the other embellishments that we use. And I like the Stick and Style because it's smaller, it's more movable. I can lay it in where I want to. I can lay it down and it stays where I put it. And I need that because you know I can't be still. But that's a Redesign product. We should still have some in stock. I'll have to check inventory today. I'll get Charlotte to double check. If you're looking for it, it will be found under Creative Accessories on our website. And I've got some thick spots right there, so I'm going to water that down just a little bit. You can see the fan is blowing the water off, so I did a little extra. If I have thick spots, it's going to take longer for it to dry. I don't want it to take a long time because I want to show you not just a sampling of how the Stick and Style works. I want to show you how it's going to look because I'm in love with it. Usually once I start using it, I just go crazy with it, and I'm excessive because it's so simple. It is the simplest stencil I've ever used. And unfortunately, it doesn't come in thousands of different styles, but it is still really cool to use, and a little bit of it goes a really long way. You know I'm frugal. I'm not trying to use up all of my tools at one time because I want to have some for another project. So I will stick that one piece and use it repeatedly on the same project so that I don't want to drip that, so I have everything I need and I don't waste it, I don't overuse it, and then I have a lot left on my roll. And that's the beauty of it being Stick and Style. You can't, it's made to reuse. Maybe not as much as I do, but it is made to reuse, and it does a great job. I got a little bit too much water on this surface, so, which is, you know, it's going to thin my paint out, but I didn't want that much water. I didn't want my paint that thin. Here we go. All the way down to the edges, and we'll get some of that dry. Now, because this is going to be a multifaceted project, some of what you see me do this morning, I may actually go over and do again later. So as I'm going and I show you pictures or video clips, I'll try to explain what I did and why I did it so that you can stay up with me. And I may even go live again and continue This is going to be a busy, 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 busy week. But I really want to show you how I do this project rather than just clip it in photos. Don't forget, mark your calendars, Thursday night, Thursday evening, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. We've curated a beautiful selection of fall decor items, and we're gonna bring it to you live on our sale right here on Facebook. That's Thursday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We're in Florence, South Carolina. Unless I go on a trip and do Coffee and Create, you will always find us on Eastern Time here at Two Girls Treasure. And you can always stop in the store and visit with us 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. If I'm not here, Charlotte or Mel, or Charlotte and Mel will be here. And Charlotte is getting well versed in the paint, so she can always give you a hand. Mel is a user too, so she's getting well versed in the paint. She's loving it, addicted to it, and has a beautiful and unusual vision. A lot of her style is boho, not farmhouse, not white, definitely full of color and life. So let's let that dry just a touch so that our stick and style does not peel the paint away from the dressing table. The nice gentle sound of the fan blowing. It's a nice peaceful morning for this. So if you're staying with me watching paint dry, thank you so much. You're my kind of people. Grab your coffee and don't be shy about it. And see, with the multi-tonal all the way down, I can see layering in some different colors with that stick and style. I love how the Bashful Blush toned the flamingo on this sample board. I really do. I don't want it that rich, I don't think. So I believe where we lay it, we can make a beautiful vision. And we may even just stripe it straight down. Wouldn't that be lovely? Just a couple of stripes of florals down through the center. I love to design the look. Everything doesn't have to be an all-over finish. It can be partial. But some beautiful floral stripes straight down the center. I think, oh, that leaves some blank space for us to do other embellishments. More is more is more is more. It won't hurt a thing. Isn't that a beautiful vanity? I love it. And I think these colors are going to look gorgeous on it. Let's see. Use the back of your hand to test. I think we're dry enough up here that we can try it. And I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to do. Just what I said. We're going to run a direct line of florals from the top. I'm going to turn the fan off for just a second. We're going to run a direct line of florals from the top down the center of the drawer, and then down the center of the dressing table across the center platform, and then we'll do another one down there. I'm not going to do everything. I may come back and do some light metallics or maybe some pearl. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, now as I come around this curve, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut that. So when I get ready, I can come down the cascade right there. And it'll fit just fine. I'm going to cut it right here. I'll give myself some length. And now I still have a lot left on this roll. I need to use this more than I do because it's such a versatile tool. So handy. All right, let's get you in there. And I'll tell you what I'm gonna do so you can see this really well. Let me ease you in just a little bit. I don't wanna take you in too far, but I wanna take you in far enough. All right, we'll stop right there. Can you see real well? There we go, there we go. All right, I'm gonna take my brushes. I've got another paper towel right here. Let me move my big brush out of the way. Oh, now that I'm looking at this, okay. Here comes the overkill because I think I'm gonna add some wild berry to this as well. And I'm just gonna mist these colors in ever so gently. And I think, let's see, dust this off. I will start with my flamingo. Let's make sure it's laid down. That way I don't have any bleed through. That's one of the worst problems when you're stenciling is the bleed under, and I hate that. I'm gonna tamp a lot of this off and I'm gonna lay some flamingo in. And I'm gonna lay it all over, all the way to my edge. I'm not gonna do full coverage. And I'll show you why. All right, let me rinse this off. I'm gonna turn my fan back on because I want that to dry quickly. There we go. Now, I'm gonna wipe that off. I'm gonna shake this up. I see an amazing project unfolding here. Sometimes it's frustrating when what you start with or what you think you're gonna start with, one good pop of the paint lid, doesn't come to fruition. And you have to shift, and I literally, because my program changed, I had already put my project idea out there, and I know it would be okay if I changed, but in my mind, this is really what I wanted to do today. And I'll usually tell you, when you start a project, begin with the end in mind so that you know where you're going. But sometimes as it unfolds, the project can change up a little bit, and that's perfectly all right. Because if you listen to your mind's eye, if you listen to your inner self, it will tell you the next most beautiful step to take. Now, I don't want to blend those, but I want to lighten them a little bit more. So I'm going to do a little bit more of the Bashful blush over the top of it. Even though that's my base, I have those other colors in there. And now I want full coverage. Now I want all of that beautiful stencil filled in. All right, and now I want to peel this off. Very gently so that I don't lift paint. Can you see it? Let me ooch you in just a little bit more because that is beautiful. Isn't that lovely? Can you see it real well? I'll take some pictures and I'll make sure that you can see this. I'm gonna add more color to that. And see, now I have a little bit of texture because of the layers of color. We are gonna glam this up. I already can see what my next steps are gonna be. But if you'll look in here, let me grab a paintbrush so I don't touch it. But if you'll look where the little stems are, because this is textured, I could actually take some of my green and just touch into this and add a little bit more color to it. And I will add, I believe I'm going to come in and add some stamping. I have all kinds of ideas at this point. That is beautiful, y'all. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, let me bring you back out just a little bit. Love that finish. That's going to be so pretty. Oh, I'm going to be obsessed with this project now. Now we've got some architecture right here, but we've got this little piece right here, and we don't want to leave that out. We want to make sure that has coverage. So what I'll do, I'm going to turn the fan off so I don't blow this away. I'm going to come right up underneath it. And it's going to be a little tricky right here to make sure it's lined up and to make sure that I'm up against the top edge and that it's smooth going down. So, there we go. All right, yep. I can't do this bottom edge. I just peeled paint right there. Too tender to do this bottom section right now. It's okay. I will show you one more time how amazing this stick and style can be and how you can layer color. I'm going to add a color and I'm going to grab that little paintbrush and I'm going to take the paintbrush and use it as a firm edge to lay that. There we go. And lay that tape down so that we don't get any paint under it. I don't want any muddy stenciling on this because now I see the vision for it and now I'm going to be obsessed with doing this. And I'd love to say nothing else is going to get done today, but that's just not the way my world's going to rock out. I have got work to do today besides paint, so I will do the very best I can to get some things done. So here we go with the wild berry. I'll put the wild berry on first. I don't think it matters the way I'm layering the color in, which one goes on first. What's gonna matter is what goes on last, and that's gonna be the bashful blush. I may even come back in and retouch this with some pearl. This will be absolutely glamorous when we are done. I'm getting ready to do another vanity, and it will be glamorous. It's gonna be Hollywood style glamorous. right. And now, I'm going to draw some of the water off of this brush. This one will be glamorous shabby chic. Is there such a thing? There will be when I'm done. All right. Just gonna tamp some Bashful blush over the top of that. I'm gonna be careful on these curves. Watch my edges because I didn't tape the edges off. But I have good coverage over my wild berry. And let me take it one more level and I'm gonna do this with a straight brush. It's not a stencil brush, it's a little brush. It is Violet Shadow, and it belongs in this scene. As we move down the top of the vanity, we're just going to add a little bit of Violet Shadow in. And how we doing on time, Miss Judy? We've got about 9 more minutes. Hey, Ariel Love. She has her music rocking out. She can't hear me. Tink, tink, tink. I'm just going to add a little bit of Violet Shadow in here because I believe it goes. There we go. Not too much, but just enough. You ready? Let me pull you back in gently so you can see when this comes off what it's going to look like. A little bit more. There we go. I think that'll get you where you need to be. I'll fix this, but I think this is going to look stunning. Can you? And I took you completely out of the frame. I'm gonna have to change the camera angle just to get you in there. But it's okay, bear with me. I'm gonna take you down. So I can get you right here at it. Let's take a look at that. Look how beautiful. I am going to work a little bit more on this because that just needs all the love in the world and all of the attention that I can give it with everything else that I have to get done today. So, what do you think? What do you think about that stick and style stencil? It's amazing, isn't it? And with your Rethunk Junk paint colors, take all the colors you have, mix them up, look on the creative accessories and see if there's any available. I will double check. Charlotte will be here shortly. She is amazing with inventory. So I'll get her to double check, see if we have any of this in stock right now. If we don't and you want some, message me and let me know. I will get it on order and have it available for you to use. I'll even see what new styles they have. But you can actually do this with any of the stencils that you have on hand. Just painting a piece of furniture can make it so beautiful. Embellishing that piece of furniture and making it more glamorous, well, that just takes good tools. So make sure you get some good tools in your kit. Get your Rethunk Junk paints out. Grab a cup of coffee and go create something amazing. I'll drop the links in the comments to our website, to our paints. and to our creative accessories. So you have access to everything you will need to do your own glamorous vanity makeover with Rethunk Junk paint and some stencils. I'm Diane, live at Two Girls Treasure. Thank you so much for being here this morning on Facebook and on YouTube. I will go live with some more just as soon as I can eke out 30 or 45 minutes, and we'll do some more work to this vanity. Don't forget to mark your calendars for Thursday evening, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. for our curated fall decor. We will bring it to you live. All you have to do is sit back, click and purchase, and we will look forward to seeing you again real soon. Thanks so much for being here, y'all. Have a great day.